Test, test, test. Tell me if this is too loud, guys, or if it's just right. Of course, we're still starting in about 18 minutes, but just want to calibrate the mic properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can go live. Oh, you've got to bring me in sometime, Piddles, because I really like EU4. I've never tried an EU4 multiplayer game, because it's kind of one of those games I really just like to enjoy. You know, since I've been a kid, I've really liked strategy games because I can basically, like, sort of imagine what's happening without actually seeing it, if that makes sense. So, you know, I've played as Portugal and taken over, like, all of Africa and just sort of just savor the moment. But I definitely want to start playing U4 more to get better at it. Bit quiet, says I Sunny Raider. Let's see if we can't remedy that. What about this, maybe? Is this better? This is somewhat louder. We can keep on pushing it, though. This is maybe 55%, something like that. Let's push it to 60%. Thanks, guys. I'm very excited for this stream. War in the East is probably one of my favorite Slytherin games of all time. I'd put a Close Combat Gateway to Khan in there. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite Slytherin games. Raven says 70. Yeah, we'll push to 70. There we go. Well, Sanctus Reach, I mean, you know, we just came out with Sons of Cadia, so that's huge, of course, for us. In terms of plans for the future, you know, I can't really say anything, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me say that much. It's a shame when you do a stream and you're not allowed to really give much information, but as the self-proclaimed minister of propaganda, we can't say anything on that matter. Anyway, Sons of Cadia is out, and it's great. It really is. Probably one of the the most challenging of the Sanctus Reach campaigns, using those guardsmen to try and destroy the Orc menace. And of course, we really have to use that Basilisk and the Lehman Russ tanks as much as possible, or else it gets really challenging. Alright guys, I'm jumping off mic here for a bit, but I will be back in about 15 minutes. Alright guys, yeah, I guess we should get started here in a second. So we're going to jump in here in a bit. We're 3 minutes away from liftoff, and we are going to be playing, of course, as the Axis. This is War in the East. It's Dawn to the Danube and the Lost Battles. I have everything. I really love this game, so we have a ton of scenarios to choose from, as you can see. We'll probably take some of the shorter ones initially, and then maybe we'll start with the Grand Campaign and see how far we make it. Probably not very far, to be honest. This is definitely a tough game. Let's take a look here at the chat. I like both. I think War in the West, if you would prefer an air war, you're going to want to get War in the West, because you can control all your fighter pilots, your bombers, and you can do the same in War in the East too, but it's not as drawn out, and how could I put this, like, sort of complex in its approach. You know, War in the East is much more about ground combat, and me, personally, I'm much more a ground combat kind of guy. That's just how I am. I prefer the infantry battles, etc., but if you like air war, you definitely want War in the West. And as a matter of fact, one of our most popular communities on the Slytherin forums, or the Matrix forums, excuse me, is the War in the Pacific community. I can't possibly play the game. It's really tough, but there is a group of players that are just fanatical about that game, so I'm tempted to learn. Good evening, Cloud Cuckoo-lander. Good evening. Alright guys, we're going to get started here. So I think we're going to start out pretty simple. Nothing's really simple in War in the East, but I think I'm going to take Case Blue Phase 1. So in February 1942, the German OKH began planning Fall Blau, Case Blue, a follow-up campaign for the failed Barbarossa offensive. The Caucasus was to be the principal objective. Phase 1 of the German plan was to encircle and destroy all Soviet forces west of Voronezh. So you can see here, as the Axis player, we have to advance rapidly to destroy the Red Army and capture Voronezh, but we only have 3 turns. So this is probably the shortest scenario in the game. A lot of these scenarios are like, let's take a look here, for instance, 224 turns, but we're just going with one of the simpler ones. And, you know, I'm also playing this because it's been a while since I played War in the East, and I definitely want to see how I do. Too long. Yeah, it's possible. Alright, guys, here we go. So, let's get started with Case Blue. We're going to go ahead and load the scenario up. Sorry about Bandicam here. I'll get rid of it. 1 second. There we go. So, here we go, guys. So, basically, the way it starts is you can actually see the defensive line. Sorry, I need to find a comfortable position here. Yeah, we need to move this table, for God's sakes. Alright, give me a second, guys. Okay. No, we don't want to exit the game. So, guys, first of all, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at the weather zones. This is really interesting. By pressing W, you can actually see how the weather is going to be on a certain day, etc. You could navigate with the mouse. I believe you can also navigate with the arrow keys on the keyboard here, but I prefer the mouse myself. This game is really, really fleshed out. So, we've got, basically, you can consider this Army Group South. You can consider this Army Group Center, and the pink you can consider Army Group North. We've got some SS motorized brigades up here. They're going to be very effective. Now, there's a lot of different ways to attack in the game. We could actually do like a sustained attack or a concentrated attack using all 4 units here, but I'm not necessarily going to do that. Now, first of all, I'm going to focus on the air war. So right now, I do want to bomb enemy units, but I think our infantry can handle them. So I'm actually going to bomb cities. This is mean, but it has to be done. So there we go. We've managed to drop some bombs. Let's pick a target type. Let's try to hit their rail yards. And we are going to launch right now. Let's see what happens. City was bombed. And as you can see, we're trying to do some damage. We did 4% damage to the rail yard, which isn't bad. But this is also going to affect the units on the front lines. You know, it's going to make it harder for them to get supplies, etc. I'm going to try to hit the rail yard again. Launch. City was bombed. Very good. The Fliegerkorps. It looks like we did another 4% damage there to the rail yard. Give me 1 second, guys. Take a look here, make sure I'm not too loud or anything like that. Yes, we might do tutorials. I mean, again, go to our YouTube channels and ask for them. That's the best way to go about this. I'm going to hit the manpower here. As you can see, I'm not really using my planes right now against any actual enemy units. I'm sort of focusing more on the cities and the rail yards. But now, I think we can begin our attack. So let's go back to movement. And as you can see, when we go back to movement, we once again see the screen. So we need to get to Voronezh. This is pretty straightforward. We're going to take our SS units here. And I'm going to do a concentrated attack just with them. And it looks like the enemy tank brigade is committed to the defense. We can see here the damage done, 34 enemies, but we lost 86 men, so we actually came out of that not really very well. So we're going to go ahead and try to attack with all of these infantry divisions right here. And we managed to move the enemy back, 164 men lost, as well as some damage there. And we can actually always pause to take a look at the casualties if you guys want to do that, but of course, if we did that for every single battle, that could get a little bit confusing. I didn't mean to move the HQ on that tile, but I think he can still take on the enemy here. There we go. Enemy division routed, and we can see it over here near Voronezh, totally running away. Let's do the same with our SS division. We're going to attack again. This time, we destroyed and killed 548 men. Look at that. That's beautiful. The commander of our corps was Erwin Virov. And here we have Commander Nikolai Pukov. Now, another thing about War in the West, I know a lot of people here, we've got, like, War in the West, people that love War in the West, people that love War in the East. One thing that War in the West does that's really cool that I like is it gives each commander an actual portrait. I do wish War in the East had that. As far as I know, it doesn't, but I'm sure there's mods that give you portraits. I'm sure they exist. Let's attack again. Nice, destroying 2 enemy tank brigades. Well, an enemy tank brigade and a rifle division, but who's counting, right? And this is actually our air base, but I am going to move my HQ up. Now, we're not near a rail yard here, and that's the only thing that's concerning to me. So I'm going to see if we can break through with our tanks. And actually, the defensive fort did fall back. I thought they were going to hold. And let's start cutting the enemy off. So you see here, in this game, it's very important to cut off enemy supply. The more we do that, the worse they're going to perform. And we're basically just going to cut off all of their supply on the rail yards, and these units will be without any support whatsoever. Obviously, we're trying to do another sort of blitzkrieg maneuver, so I'm going to continue this attack. Yeah, das ist gut. 76 viewers. How's it going, guys? Thanks for everybody for showing up. Agrippa Maxentis here once again with the great Musso, the moderator, trying to bring you guys an enjoyable stream. And actually, Musso had some straw polls he wanted to share with you guys, which I think are really important. By the way, we just destroyed 1,851 men. Now, a lot of those are probably prisoners, because they were completely broken at that point. But we have to realize at the same time, we can't just keep, getting victories and being happy about that. We need to move forward. So I'm going to keep on moving forward here. It's a little risky, and it looks like actually we got some interdiction fire. For those of you that have watched our Operation Art of War videos, you'll know what that is. So War in the East, War in the West, and War in the Pacific all incorporate that. And what that means is that there were some Russian planes that happened to be in the area as we were moving our forces, and they hit our unit. Didn't seem to be too effective, but nonetheless, that's always damaging to morale, of course. Here we go, look at this. We are sending them all running. And we can also refit our units. We can also put them in reserve. So if a unit's been fighting for a long time and, needs some time to relax, we refit. Oh, welcome to the stream. You can always do that. It's definitely something you want to consider during the game. Now, I don't want to move this pink army too far. It sounds weird calling it the pink army, but that's what we're calling it right now. And basically, we're going to keep it on this side of the river. We'll let the greens do their own job. And hopefully take their positions, because otherwise we start overlapping armies, guys start not getting supplies, and problems begin to occur. I'm going to try to... No, we don't have enough men to attack there this turn, at least. Well, maybe we do. Let's bring this guy over here. And let's go for a full attack. And look at this guy. The Livni population ran away. I don't know if you guys saw that message, but the Livni population ran away. So now we actually have refugees on the roads trying to escape the attacking Germans. Oh, thank you so much, Fire Shark. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's, I I love the series. It's unfortunately not monetizable with YouTube's new rules, but it was very fun to do the Chechnya, and I'm still playing, and it is a tough fight. I learned a lot about the war just from the comments, and it's been really cool to see what people like you have to say about, you know, what happened in that war. It's just so controversial. Attack again. Look at that. Nice. 1st Guards Rifle Division defeated, and that's not militia. Those are tough Russian units. But we are not giving up. It looks like they got some support here, possibly from the Rocket Battalion, so maybe some artillery support of some kind. But right now, we totally are crushing the enemy in the field. So let's just keep cutting off these roads. Look at what, just look at what we're doing so far. Remember, we need to reach Voronezh in 3 turns, and that's why I'm taking so long to do each individual movement. If we want to reach it in 3 turns, we've got to be really close in 3 turns, basically. So let's see. Well, really close in 1 turn, really. Let's see what else we can do. Okay, let's check out these guys. They don't seem very good. Oh, they're Hungarian. So, unfortunately, not the best in terms of fighting. The defensive force is held, so it's going to be a lot harder to maneuver this area. We might want to bring our bombers in to actually hit the target. Let's do it, guys. There we go. Ground forces were bombed. It looks like we killed 31 men, but they did have a Yak fighter and an anti-aircraft gun, so we took a few losses there. Let's just basically bomb this line. Now, I will say War in the East makes it a lot easier to control your Air Force, and that's not to say it's better, because in War in the West, it's a lot more fleshed out. So here, we're kind of taking a shortcut, honestly. I'm also hitting their airfields, but I think we can probably get those with our tanks eventually. Let's hit them again here. We'll pause, and as you can see, look at that. Beautiful. We managed to actually kill 70 men, damage 24, wounded, essentially. Let's get back to the regular view. Let's take a look at the rail view. You do want to take a look at the rail mode occasionally to basically make sure you're getting supplies, etc. What did I just do? Sorry. It was my fault. Yeah, if you can't see the chat, usually that's Twitch's issue. You definitely want to just try to reload your page, as was mentioned. That's the best thing you can do. So I'm thinking these guys should be able to move a little bit more. Again, it's been a while since I played the game. Oh, yes, this guy can definitely move. He's got to be able to. So let's select just him. Not you. Not you. Just you. There we go. So see, it's been a while since I played, but I still know my stuff. I'm going to keep moving and keep trying to cut off the enemy rail lines here. We got interdicted. Looks like we may have taken some damage, but no matter. Oh, we captured some supply, guys. So if you guys saw that message, basically we captured some enemy supply. You know, when they're running and terrified, they're going to leave some supply behind. The only risk we're taking right now is we're going very deep into enemy territory, and it's going to be hard to get out of here, quite simply. You can see there on the right, that's actually the representation of the movement points. So we don't have many movement points left there. Let's take our SS units, attack. And we still didn't manage to take this area. We didn't even manage to reduce the level of the fort. That's disappointing. Got an enemy tank brigade committed to that defense. Yeah, 52 men lost on our side, 20 on theirs. Not really anything special. I don't think these Hungarians are going to be very helpful at all. What's this? This is just a regular Wehrmacht infantry division. All right. I like this. Let's go ahead and do a concentrated attack. And actually, as you can see, they even brought in some actual air units to assist here from their airfields. But we did manage to beat them. Only 71 men killed on the enemy side, but it's good enough to do some damage. We didn't manage, however, to rout them, which takes a little bit longer. Alright, we just scouted them at this point. Sometimes your men, if they're smart, and in this game the AI is very good, will decide, you know what, it's a better idea to just scout this unit. We're not going to attack them, because if we do, we're going to get crushed. But if you guys take a look at the units with the black borders back here, and there we go, we just routed another enemy unit, that represents all of the units right now running away. So the Russians have a major problem. This also clogs up their rail lines, so the rail lines get full of basically units running away, and it causes even more problems for them. That's the goal. We want to just basically keep them running, keep taking their rail lines, and crush them. Beautiful, look at that. We lost some men on that attack, about 194, but it was absolutely worth it. Now let's get rid of this Russian tank division. And this is actually a fort. We've got a bunch of howitzers here. Ivan Krishtyakov is the defending general. I'm gonna bring this guy in. Go for it, boys. Oh, we still... Yes, we took the fort, guys, and routed the enemy units. Once again, this is still not an easy mission. We've got to take that area in 3 turns. Doesn't seem possible to me, but we're going to try to take Voronezh in 3 turns. That's a really good idea for a poll, by the way, Cable. Really cool idea, man. Okay, let's see. So some of these units can absolutely still move. We've got a Hungarian tank column. No need to waste that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take this Hungarian tank column and see what I can do to damage the enemy rail line. And I think this would be one thing, and also attacking their Air Force base would be huge. We're also going to be taking a city. Here the cities are represented by dots, so we just took one of those cities there. And let's see if we can hit their tank unit. No, we can't. I wanted to see a battle of Hungarian tanks against Russian tanks. I think the Russian tanks might have the win either way. Okay. We still got this army here, and this is a huge force. So I want to go ahead and put some major attacks here because we've got an enemy HQ. But at the same time, maybe we should be trying to push upwards, if you guys get what I'm saying. Let's try to push upwards. That's where we have to go, so that's probably where we should try to go. Go ahead and attack once again. Managed to get the enemy to retreat. They didn't run away altogether, but they definitely were sufficiently afraid of us not to put up a fight. Come on, boys. As you can see here, just a scout, we lost 20 men. The enemy lost 11. So with scouting missions, you really don't lose many men. As you can see here, the enemy brought in Yak 1s, lags, hurricanes. Hurricanes? Lend-Lease. Why, America? Why? There we go. We managed to overrun this enemy position. And this is the 3rd Guards Cavalry Corps. So you can absolutely see that at this early on in the war, even 1942, well, not too early on in the war, really, basically midway, the Soviets were still using cavalry. And the Germans were still using cavalry to transport a bunch of stuff. So really, all sides were still using cavalry. It's kind of strange when you think about it. Let's go ahead and... Actually, I'm going to move this guy here to assist with this attack. Although we're leaving a gap open, so I'm going to fill it with this unit. And let's see if we can go ahead and break the enemy. Alright, nice! They routed, guys. Beautiful. Look at these guys routing. As you can see, they're all running away. This area cannot be reached this turn, but we've got Stalino, Zaporozhye, Dneprovets. Dneprovets. Anybody know where this is in... What country this is in now? Think about it. This is a tough question, actually, because I think people will have multiple different responses. Alright, let's keep on moving. Let's go ahead and grab maybe a few units here. You know, I think that they've had it for this turn, which makes sense, honestly. We've done our job, but we need to keep on moving. There we go. Another cavalry corps retreated. I want to rout them, obviously. Come on, boys. What are you afraid of? Do you want to live forever? Yeah, I guess they do. Guess they do want to live forever. Okay, move up here. No movement points there. I think we can safely say that we can end the turn at this point. But, you know, like on a mission with only 3 turns, it's tough. Ah, nice, nice, Kaiser. Yeah, Flashpoint Campaigns is an excellent, excellent Cold War gone hot simulator. Really cool stuff there.
We still have a few abilities to bomb, so I'm still going to bomb some enemy units here. I think I'll actually hit the units that are running away a little bit, see if we can scare them. Aircraft unavailable or out of range. That means we've already used up our bomb attacks. Although we can still hit this area. Managed to do 39 damage. The enemy do have a few anti-aircraft guns here, so we should be careful. As you can see, this is the airbase in Kharkov that's doing the bombing. So we need to focus our bombing in this area if we want to get some effective attacks. See if we can hit the enemy HQ. Wow, men lost 136. There's going to be a few dead Soviet leaders for sure there. Very nice. All right, we're going to end the turn. Moving this to 55%, so that most of our air, well, not most, well, yeah, most, but just by a small margin of our Air Force is going to go ahead and be in the sky at all times. And we might even move that up to 75%, although once you start doing that, you start to get a lot of losses with your Air Force, of course. All right, the enemy held against the SS Motorized Brigade. Pretty impressive. Okay, let's end the turn, guys. Wish us luck. Yes.
Be right back, guys. I'm going to grab a little bit of water here. Okay, guys, so here we get a really nice summary of everything that's happened just in that first move. We can see the Soviet losses, which is just amazing. Look at that. That is unbelievable. 586. We only had 1,234 men killed. Of course, we had a lot of men disabled or wounded, but that was pretty amazing. We actually have more wounded men than the enemy, but we've killed more of them. So the Soviets need to get some better doctors. And over here, you can get specifics on the different kinds of, you know, actual, how can I put this, machines destroyed, machines of war, vehicles, etc. And we've both lost quite a lot, to be honest with you. 7.92 millimeter anti-tank rifles, MG-34 machine guns. Yeah, it hasn't been easy. Alright, let's see. Well, what to do now? What to do now? You could also do this. This really helps because it allows you to see the enemy hexes, so basically the enemy zones of control. Helps you determine where your men are, so I'm going to put that on for now. Just makes things a little bit easier. Not necessary. Attack. Yes, run! So they actually routed. They only lost 15 men. They gave up pretty quickly there. Well done. Alright, let's move, not the HQ, I just want to move the infantry unit forward. And we'll have the SS join in a final attack here. At least for this turn, against these units. Nice, we shattered one unit, guys, which means, of course, they either surrendered to us or they just broke completely. And, of course, the NKVD will be chasing them for a while before they head to the Gulag or to a punishment battalion. There we go. Enemy retreated. And I'm actually going to be attacking this way. So I'm going to try to open the way for my tanks, honestly. I want to see if I can open the way for my tanks. It's going to make things a lot easier for us, but it's not going to be easy to actually establish, because as you can see, we're quite a ways away from the enemy infantry here. But we'll see what we can do. Another route. At least we're getting some really great attacks during this Let's Play. Whether we can get a victory is another story. So we've got this Hungarian unit here, and if they can break through, they might be able to damage the enemy severely, because we can get to this rail line where they're trying to escape, and there's actually an HQ unit here, a 5-star general, trying to hold the line together. So let's try to get to where he's at. 17 turns. Can we make it across? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, the Hungarians have had it. They're not going to keep fighting. At least not right now. And as you can see, their actual military units, they were at 0 before. They will slowly gain some fighting power, but it's going to be too late for us to really use them. So when you play the campaign, they do improve. Kind of, depending on how much you use them, of course. There we go, and we're also taking a city here, actually a fort. So this is great. That's going to be ours. Move in there, son. There we go. Taking on another city here. And, of course, more rail yards. And these guys are completely surrounded. We can go ahead and start finishing them off. And maybe the Hungarians can help us here. Wow, the Hungarians, 165 of them were killed, guys, and only 11 of the Russians were killed. Unbelievable. How are you guys liking the game so far, by the way? I want to hear some opinions here about the actual game itself. I know a lot of you guys play War in the West, stuff like that, or maybe some of you guys haven't played any of these games whatsoever, so this is your first foray into this kind of wargaming. Here we go. Oh, yes. Routed more enemy units. This looks terrible for Stalin. Like, we are just destroying him. Here we go once again. Nice. We're not getting these, like, bloody victories like we were initially, because now the Soviets know they need to run as soon as they see us. But it's still good. I mean, we're still doing pretty well. Doesn't really matter if we get bloody victories as long as we rout these units. Retreat, dog. Move, comrade, and you must take them all. I have no idea if, when I do my little voices, if you guys enjoy them or if you just think I'm completely schizophrenic. Should take a poll. Let's do a poll on that one. Alright, here we go. Let's grab some more units back here. Actually, we don't have many. We've got this guy, and I kind of want to get him to go back here because he can start attacking the units that are retreating. Believe it or not, this can cause a lot of chaos. As you can see, we captured some supply, and now we can move on the enemy HQ. He just ran away, of course. That's going to leave all these guys in a lurch, and we can't take the rail yard because we've got this tank here. So I'm going to see if I can move him out of the way. Thank you. And now the rails are ours. Let's move this guy this way. Come on, boys. Definitely schizophrenic, says Musso. He works with me, he knows best. Okay, here we go. And look at this. We've got a ton of tanks back here. Unfortunately, they're just so far from Voronezh. I think all they can really do is assist us in messing the enemy army up here while our top armies move towards Voronezh as quickly as they can. Come on, boys. Good work. Retreating enemy. Keep on moving. Enemy HQ right there. Let's see if we can hit him. I think he's going to ditch, though, before we can get to him. No! He's not going to be able to escape. Nice. Retreated and routed. And now let's move these guys up. We'll go for a full assault on the enemy HQ. Looks like only the tanks can manage it. And that was Kirill Moskalenko. We killed 419 men. Wow. And they lost 401, which means that those guys are our prisoners now.
Really good news. We're also completely cutting off the rail lines here. But we also need to keep our HQ close. So let's keep this guy close and finish off anybody behind us. We don't want stragglers cutting off our rail lines and doing the same thing to us. But like I said, we only have one more turn to win this scenario. And this is why I do encourage, as much as I think these newer, like, easier kind of scenarios, not even easier, let's just, oh, welcome to the channel. Not even easier, let's just say, you know, more approachable to a new player. You should really try to experiment and start doing other kinds of scenarios. We also have security divisions because, believe it or not, in this game, partisans will appear. And if you don't have security divisions around to basically police the area, the partisans will just run around and run amok, basically, and do whatever they want. Let's take a look here at the chat. Yeah, I've always wanted to do, it's funny people here are talking about, is it Kaiser Hike? Wait a minute, let me take a look here. 1 second, guys. I just get quick glimpses at the chat. The Black Ice mod, yes. See, I like Kaiserreich, but the Black Ice mod is great. Problem is, anytime I try to do a series of that on my channel, it doesn't really play out the way I want it to, because the actual, you know, mods are always getting updated, so it puts me in kind of a bind, unfortunately. Okay, let's keep moving. We also can't forget to use our air power if we're able. Come on, boys. Guards Rifle Division retreated. But of course, it's a Guards Rifle Division. It did not surrender. But it will now, for sure. Nope, still just retreating. So the enemy actually sends support here. We lost 66 men. They don't want to lose that location. We've got to keep that in mind, guys. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, we're going to have to send in our Hungarians for this one. Nice job! The Hungarians actually managed to get the division to retreat. Still got a very strong attack here. Let's go for it. And defending forces held. So I'm actually going to send this guy to the front here near Voronezh. And I'm bringing the HQ along. This is the most important location. Come on, boys. Take Voronezh, and look at that, we're capturing supplies. Capturing fuel is always great, because then you don't have to rely on your HQs for a few turns. But I don't think we have that ability right now. I don't think they have much fuel themselves, so all of us are in trouble. Welcome to the channel. Wow, we've got a lot dropping in today. Don't forget, guys, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to our Twitch channel here, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels as well. If you could put that down below, Muso. We've got so many viewers. I want to make sure we don't forget at the end of the stream to let you guys know. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Definitely need to keep attacking. Wow. We have got the entire enemy army routing. Wow, we might actually get a victory here, guys. I don't want to jinx myself, though, but yeah, this is looking pretty good for us. Get out of here, Red Guards. I hate the rifle divisions. I mean, we're really close to Voronezh. Really close. Doesn't mean we can leave these guys behind, though. We've got to get rid of all of the enemy forces so they don't try to stop us. And yeah, we should definitely try moving a bit. So I'm going to deselect these guys. Move these guys forward. You can see the retreating forces immediately evacuating. It's going to be a close one, boys, but we'll do our best. That HQ up. yeah, we're getting into Voronezh. These guys are heroes right now. The 9th Panzer Division and the Guards Motorized Division. I think we're in Voronezh, guys. We just got 1 unit there, but that's better than nothing. Let's take a look here. Thank you, Muso. Make sure to subscribe to the channels, guys, as well as the Twitch channel if you're new. Look, see, we've gotten a lot of new viewers here with War in the East. This is definitely a game we've neglected for a while in terms of, you know, showing it off to you guys. So we might do some more of these in the future. And once again, if you want maybe a War in the East campaign on our channels, let us know, and we can maybe even put that on the Matrix channel. I think that'd be a perfect place for it. I would be more than willing to try a grand campaign. That could take a long time, but if you guys stick with us, I will do it. So yeah, guys, we got 1 more turn here. I think we've taken Voronezh, but maybe it's over here as well. I want to be absolutely sure. We've done all the movements we can. We're turning it over to the Russians. Wish us luck. And if you guys saw that, there's also a rail repair system. So that's another issue with partisans. If partisans pop up, they will attack your rail yards. And you do need engineers, which will kind of manually repair the rails, unless you want to do it yourself. Interesting. Ground forces were interdicted. We interdicted some ground forces with our Stukas, Messerschmitts, all sorts of different planes. Killed 20 men. Not bad. But the enemy's definitely moving forward here. They've moved our Hungarians back, which doesn't affect us too much. Alright, this is a little concerning. You can see that now they're kind of trying to cut off our supply line. Not sure if they're going to succeed, but they're definitely trying to break through here a little bit. Because if they can mess our supply up for just 1 turn, then we can't get to Voronezh for sure. I think we're in Voronezh, but I think Voronezh might be more than just that 1 spot. I think it might be 2 or 3 spots, honestly. So I want to see what happens. All right, let's take a look here, guys, at what's happened so far. So this is so far. It shows you the current turn and total. So Axis losses, it looks like men killed. We've had 7,242 men killed, which is a lot. But if you look up here, we have 20,531 men lost. And that's basically because a lot of these guys are wounded. Some maybe are missing a leg or just, you know, are seriously wounded and aren't going to be coming back for a while. Men captured, we had 140 men captured. Now let's take a look at the Soviet losses. They've lost 50,647 men, a tremendous amount of guns, AFVs, and I don't know what SP and AC stands for. Let's take a look here. So men killed, they lost 7,000 this turn, or more like 8,000, but total they've lost 21,706 men killed. Men captured, we've captured almost 7,000 of their men right here, 6,936, and 126 men came back on their end, 83 came back on our end. Vehicle damages of all causes have been pretty bad for both of us, but let's see if we can't go ahead and come in for the big win, as they say. First things first, we got to get rid of these groups of units here. It looks like some of the units are actually still in the fight. They've returned to the fight, basically. So we want to destroy that newfound confidence immediately. Okay, Hans von Omstfeder is the name of this particular attacker, this commander. And they have surrounded us at Voronezh. See, this is what starts to occur. So we're going to have to try to break our guys out. At least we've got still some movement, so we do have some fuel left, which is very good news. There we go, enemies routing. I love it. Alright, nice. And just in case this tile isn't Voronezh, but that one is, I'm going to attack that airbase. Should be able to attack, maybe not. Alright, this guy has to wait in Voronezh. And hopefully this guy can reach that area, but I think we've taken it. I hope so. We're about to find out. Send in our SS. And of course we got the enemy to retreat very quickly there. I don't think this will work, but I'm going to see if we can bomb all of these units out of Voronezh. We're basically going to be trying to bomb an airfield here. They've got 25 Yak-1 stationed at that airfield, but I'm basically sending all my bombs that way if I can. All right, let's bomb this area. 49 enemies down. Beautiful. Look at that retreat. What's this? Can this tank make it through? Ooh, this is interesting, guys. I don't think he can, but we may be able to actually break through here. We're going to have to attack a fort, but actually we completely destroyed it, and actually the fortified region surrendered. So we have some more Soviet prisoners, and I'm almost certain we've got some more movement points. Unfortunately, as you can see, just like in war, in Operational Art of War, depending on the difficulty of the terrain, just because you have, like, 24 movement points, some of the terrain is going to cost 4 to 5 movement points. Each hex could actually cost a significant amount, so you've got to keep that in mind too. As you can see, it looked like we could make it there, but not quite. Okay, there we go. Enemy retreated. Enemy retreated once again. We lost more men, though, in that fight, which was not fun. I don't know how the SS Motorized Brigade is going to do against enemy tank divisions, but look at that. They actually did very well. And it looks like it's mostly artillery regiments, and no, there's definitely a tank corps there, 22. Come on, man. They should have been able to hold out. We definitely had more men attacking, over 22,000, but I would have expected a better fight. Let's see if we can bring in a few more bombers here. "53 men killed on the ground." Once again, we managed to rout another enemy unit. We're doing pretty well over here, but I don't know if it's going to win us the game. I have to say, the enemy here is pretty brave. They're holding on for their dear lives. Not bad at all. So now what I'm going to do is completely ruin the Soviets' day. I'm going to destroy that unit. Shatter the rifle brigade, as a matter of fact. Not much left in it either, 366 men. And then I'm going to use this tank to cut off their rail lines completely. So even the men that are retreating aren't getting any sort of support, any sort of food. They're totally cut off. This should be able to really mess the enemy up. They've actually got a fort location set up there. So the fortified region surrendered to our tanks. Look at that. Unbelievable. We just captured some supplies, and it looks like the HQ is going to run away from us. Oh my goodness. They totally took off. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to see a new face. Don't forget to subscribe to our stream here, especially if you like strategy games. And also make sure to check out our holiday sale here at Slytherin Matrix. Okay. I think it's a victory, guys. What do you guys think? Let's get a straw poll. Is this a victory or a defeat? Because next turn we're going to find out. Please, Muso, put up a straw poll for is this a victory or defeat? I'm curious to see what you guys think. I mean, I think we've taken Voronezh, but they still have that air base there. I don't know. There we go. Once again, completely routed a ton of units. Keep it up, boys. And we'll take that rail location. Noviosko population evacuates. Look at that. So we're causing entire populations to run away. Now, keep in mind, you don't only have to play as the Germans in this game. You can absolutely, if you like, play as the Soviets. Although it's definitely a harder experience, without a doubt. Let's see the straw poll. I'm going to put defeat because I'm always kind of a glasses half empty kind of guy. All right, victory. So I think most of you guys think it is going to be a victory. We'll find out here very, very soon. I want to make sure I don't have any more attacks left. I think I do. Nope. It also really depends what the enemy does here. There we go. All of their HQs are trapped there in the center. That's the interesting part as well. They're even sending in some fighters and some bombers to try and stop the damage. But I don't think it's going to help them. Nice job, boys. These HQs away from the enemy. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's find out. Come on. Big money, big money, big money. I really want to win this one. Yeah, I think we took Voronezh for sure. Again, I could be wrong, but that definitely looks like Voronezh. So the circle with a circle around it is a capital or a regional capital, whereas the tiny dots represent cities. And there are, of course, mods that will change them to actually look like cities. That's totally up to you, of course. Okay, so it looks like the enemy is actually using some scout planes to try and find our locations. I'm not sure what that PC is, but I think that could be a partisan unit. The PC units. Could also be like politically correct units, and they're like, you cannot play this game, it's just not acceptable. And then, well, of course, we just all agree to attack them and destroy them immediately. We'd join forces with the Soviets. The politically correct police. Nothing is more terrifying. Oh, 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 oh. Is it a victory or not? I don't know. Oh, we see a lot of dead Russian tanks. Yeah, good guess, guys. So it was an Axis minor victory. We could have done better, for sure, but I'll take it. Definitely a lot of things happening there. I guess save and exit? Yeah, why not? Okay, not bad, guys. So a nice little minor victory there. Now we're about midway through the stream, so I want you guys to decide, do you guys want to see another smaller battle? Like, we have a lot of lost battles, and these are all basically DLC, a lot of these down here. Or do you guys want us to try the full campaign and see what happens, just kind of get started? So I'm going to give three options. Small battle, Kharkov, or full campaign. Small battle, Kharkov, full campaign for this straw poll. Let's see if we can type it in here. Kharkov is amazing as well. I actually have a book, Kharkov, 1942, I believe, or is it 1943? But it just details the massive amount of armor during that battle. I mean, that is just a battle that you could see armor for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Just unbelievable. Something that probably no human being will ever be able to see again. And probably not something very pleasing visually. Well, for the first few seconds, it's probably pretty cool to watch. Alright, let's see the straw poll here. I'm going to vote for small battle. Just because I want to see if we can finish another battle. Full campaign. We got 2 votes for full campaign. We'll give you guys 1 minute to decide. Okay, let's refresh this. Alright, you guys win. We'll do the full campaign. So, there's a lot of different iterations of the full campaign. We can do the alt. This is an alternate campaign. There's Bitter End. Let's take a look at this one. This is 41 to 45. And basically, the Axis logistics and replacements are sufficient for only a short campaign. Failure to crush the Red Army, etc., etc. But basically, 224 turns. There's also 42 to 45, etc. But I think we're going to stick with the 41 to 45. Basically, just the very beginning. Let's go for it, guys. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be... This could be part of the campaign. Like, maybe it's supposed to be kind of dark. I don't know if you guys are noticing. It looks a bit dark, right? Just a little bit. Let me take a look here. Yeah, if that was my monitor, that would definitely look also dark. So this is... The start is a little bit dark here. Maybe we're attacking at nighttime? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. So, let's get started. Brest-Litovsk is, of course, a major point of contention, but I think what I want to do is get a blitzkrieg going. So let's see if we can send this tank forward. Look at that. That's really pretty. These are the swamps of, what's that area? Oh my goodness, the Dnieper swamps. That's what it is. The Dnieper swamps are terrifying. And as you can see, we just scared off an enemy general unit, but we're not stopping. We're going to go to their airbase here, capture some supply from them, and basically just do what we did last time, do the blitzkrieg, and try to cut through their lines and cut off their rail yards. Managed to take another city there. Awesome. Keep attacking, boys. Remember, this is the initial start, guys, the very beginning. Just imagine the passions on both ends. Number one, the German passion to win, to push through Russia, and, of course, the Russian terror at the sudden German assault. And just anger, you know, at feeling betrayed almost. There we go. He killed 828 men. My goodness. This is going to be a bloodbath. Alright, HQ, you can stay behind. Don't worry about us. Keep fighting! As you can see, our men have a lot of fighting spirit right now. They just managed to rout an enemy unit. There's also some enemy security units. And these guys, the Russian security units are much more made to keep their own men in line, if that makes sense. Sort of a morale boost. Whereas our security units are made for both purposes, to keep men in line and to defeat partisans. I've played this game for a long time, and I've never seen pro-Axis partisans. But maybe it's possible. Certainly a lot of people in the area of Belarus, modern-day Belarus, were supportive of the German attack. Of course, that didn't include the Jewish population, the Gypsy population, and many others. So it was not a friendly invasion by any means, but there were a lot of members of the Belarusian population that did join the Germans. So that's something to keep in mind. So maybe we will see a partisan group or two. Who knows? you can see, the Grand Campaign takes a lot longer. This is not a over in a few seconds affair. We should be able to attack. And look at that. Even against an enemy tank division, 844 men lost. We lost no men at all. Keep hitting these guys. NKVD Border Regiment retreated. So much for the unstoppable NKVD. So these, of course, the NKVD are essentially sort of the military secret police. I wouldn't say they're like the Stasi, but, well, quite similar, actually. And just the political commissars of the age, of the time period. So the NKVD running away is pretty embarrassing, to say the least. Just shattered a rifle division there with the wonderful 23rd Infantry Division. Let's hit the NKVD. Try to kill as many of them as possible. You know, pretty grim fact of the war, but there was an order issued by Hitler, especially on the invasion of the Soviet Union, that was basically kill all commissars. So we can see why these guys are so terrified of us right now. They know that if they get captured, they're gonna get killed for sure. Hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Make sure to subscribe. Alright, let's keep on going here. We're gonna just keep on moving through their lines. I think our frontal units can take on the ones behind us. The goal is to take cities and destroy locations. Cut rail lines wherever we can. Because if we can't cut those rail lines in time, guys, that's going to give them enough time to basically restructure their army, and we're going to be defeated. We always knew the Russians had more men. There we go. Enemies retreating. Keep the HQ right here, nice and comfy. I'll go ahead and hit this fort so it's not a problem. And the fort surrendered. 1,243 Russian prisoners right there on day one. And another fort surrendered. Wow, this group of units here has a lot of prisoners to deal with. The 256th Infantry Division and the 161st. Not sure how they're going to do that, but I'd rather not think about it. Alright, let's start cutting through those rail lines. And even attacking across the river, we've forced the enemy to retreat. And now, of course, we can move into Kaunas, start taking this area, messing up these rail lines. I mean, just imagine what this would do to an army. You know, all of these units right here rely on these rails to get their supplies. So if we cut through here and just start messing everything up, what are they going to do? You know, they've got to retake these areas, reestablish the lines. Of course, we're going to damage them on the way through. So this gives them a very difficult situation to deal with. There we go, retreat after retreat. And we're not even doing full attacks. We could be doing much more aggressive attacks. But with just this, you know, 1-1, I don't really feel like it's necessary. For instance, that division routed just with a regular attack. Here, we'll do a more concentrated attack. And as you can see, completely routing the enemy. 4,000, I've got to pause that. 4,403 men, guys. Unbelievable. I've seen bigger numbers in this game, but that's impressive. I think Kaunas will be in our hands very soon. And there's that NKVD Border Regiment routing. I don't know how they're going to explain that to their superiors, but it's going to be an interesting conversation. Once again, routing more enemy units. Now, another great thing about War in the East is it really lets you take the Eastern Front into your own hands. I've had so many arguments with friends, you know, all in good fun, of course, about the possibility of whether or not the Germans could win the war in the East. I personally don't think they could have, no matter what. But, you know, maybe you think they could have. And you can prove it in this game by, of course, employing your own strategy. Maybe you're not going to use the Blitzkrieg. It's totally up to you. I tend to use the Blitz. My strategy in this game is to take my tanks, cut off all their rail lines, and take my infantry and just roll them over. And it seems to work pretty well for most of the time. Of course, once you start getting into 42, 43, things start to change very quickly. And you're not always going to be the one with the brilliant attack. You're going to be the one retreating. In this case, though, look at that, 1,535 enemies. The end of this day is going to bring a lot of Soviet casualties. Let's see if we can bring more Soviet casualties than the Germans did on day one here in our game. If somebody can get those numbers, that would be great. How many Soviet casualties on day one? And actually, I think these are week-long turns, so maybe in a week. Get out of here. So we're sending this purple army here to the north. I think officially the name of the army is the First Corps, the 18th Army. So the 18th Army is going to go north. You know, of course, the actual Soviets have some decent ports up here. We definitely want to take Riga, for instance. So we're going to commit these guys up here. And also, it's not a very big army, all intents and purposes. So I think this is the perfect unit to send up there. But as you can see, we've got some Soviet tank divisions, etc. moving here, and I think this is mostly infantry. We want to be a little bit careful. Let's hit that security division. NKVD, all bark and no bite. Although I'm sure if we were in their prison camps, it'd be a completely different story. Attacking the enemy HQ, and we routed him. Pyotr Sobenikov. Absolutely great. I don't think we can rout these guys, but we managed to. We actually managed to push back a tank and motorcycle regiment there with mostly howitzer fire. So our artillery absolutely won the day there. Very exciting. Let's grab an SS unit here, the Totenkopf SS Motorized Division, and keep on messing up these rail lines. Take a few cities in the process. Actually, I'm more concerned with messing up the lines. So as you can see, we're cutting off almost all the lines here to what I like to call the Soviet Riga Army. Look at that. I mean, that's just so many rail lines that aren't going to be sending supplies. Now, of course, they can still get supplies from up here, but it's not going to be as effective. You know, you're not going to be getting as many trains as you'd like. Okay, let's send this guy this way. We could have attacked the enemy HQ divisions, but I'll leave it to the infantry. And look at this. It looks like we've totally cut them off. They've even got some rail lines running through the Dnieper swamps, which I didn't know about. That's impressive that anybody could try and build in this area. That amazes me. There we go. 909 takes the city. And just for you newbies, basically the dots represent cities, and the land that's not red, the land that's clear, represents basically our zone of control. So we are in control of that particular area. We're also very close to Brest-Litovsk, but I'm definitely not attacking Brest-Litovsk without some serious air support. So let's go ahead and just bomb the infantry here, well, the infantry and the tank divisions. And of course, we may accidentally hit the city itself. But such is the way of war. Alright, now let's go for a massive attack. We can definitely refer to this furthermore as the Battle of Brest-Litovsk, because we're going in with a ton of divisions. Look at so many people involved. Let's pause. Look at that, guys. 3,488 enemies down. We lost 166. 107, I think 107 bombers attacked, 48 bombers attacked, 107 fighters attacked. We lost none of those, but they lost 24 fighters and 7 bombers, and of course they retreated. That's an amazing victory. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately move into Brest-Litovsk. It's now under German control. Let's get rid of that unit. I knew they were going to retreat pretty quickly. Let's hit the fort. We'll get some more surrendered troops here. Once again, beautiful route there. this entire area is under our control. Even the villages surrounding Brest-Litovsk, and we're nowhere near them. So the people have pretty much realized, yeah, I think the Germans are going to be here a while. Let's go ahead and hit the HQ. And as you can see, we've captured 1 ton of supply and 3 tons of fuel. Wow. Wunderbar. There we go. Enemy division routed. You can see this entire southern area is just covered in enemies running away. And sorry, guys, that I've been away from the chat. I will absolutely jump in here in a second. If you have any questions or comments about how we're playing, the only reason I'm not is this is a massive campaign, so I do need to do a lot of playing here. Let's grab our tanks. Oh no, those are HQ divisions! I didn't mean to move them. Move him back, move him back. And the red signifies that they're out of supply, so that's another thing to consider. You want to keep your HQs close enough so that you don't see that red, essentially. In this case, of course, we're out scouting ourselves, so we're probably going to be out of supply anyway. HQ's orange, so it's not great supply, but we're getting some supply, essentially. Now, as you can see, once again, going back to movement, okay? If we go here into this open territory, it's only going to cost us 2 movement points, which is pretty cheap. But if we try to go here into the Pripyat swamps, it's going to cost us way more, and we can't afford it. So that's one thing about the Pripyat swamps. Don't move through this area. I always try to avoid Pripyat whenever I can, unless I'm playing a certain game. Not in this one, though. Want to stay away. There we go. Beautiful win. I almost feel like we don't have to keep any defensive forces near Brest. I think we have it pretty much under our control. And here's the Das Reich motorized division. Let's have them start cutting through the Pripyat swamps. No, you know what? I'll be friendly. I'll have them cut through this area. It's still the beginning of the Pripyat swamps, but it's not as bad. Enemy HQ division running away, of course. Now we can attack because we're out of attack and movement points, but definitely something to consider here in the future. As you can see, guys, this front is huge. Just look at this. I mean, this is not a game that is easy. And this particular battle is 225 turns. Keep going. NKVD border regiments are routing. And I do want to be very clear, there is a difference between the NKVD and the NKVD border regiments. So, like, the NKVD itself is pretty brutal. The border regiments, the reason they don't have the morale that maybe an NKVD unit does is they're more like border guards. They're not as well staffed, equipped, etc. But they're still part of the NKVD, but it's sort of like the difference between a regular cop and a traffic cop, is the best way I could explain it. They don't have, you know, the legal or political power that the actual NKVD does. Now, if you're somebody trying to escape from the Soviet Union, they're probably going to be just as nasty as the NKVD, but otherwise, they don't wield that much. Let's get behind these guys here. More rail yards under our control, why not? And these guys are still holding the central rail line, so I'm going to try to break through despite the fact I think that we will lose this battle. Yeah, enemy held on just barely. The reason they didn't retreat there is because they actually had a unit committed to their defense. Cowards, I say. Fight your own battles. Look at that. Look at all of the air superiority here and assistance that's been given. I mean, just unbelievable. They sent in MiG-3s, Ibis, Il-16s, of course. Just an unbelievable amount of attacks. And they lost 23 fighters, 8 bombers. We lost none. We only lost 87 men. They lost 733. I mean, this just goes to show you how in the first few days of the war, well, the war on the Eastern Front during World War II, this is just a massive loss of manpower for the Soviets. This surprise attack was definitely a surprise attack. Here we go. Another group of enemies surrendered. And, of course, now we can make it to Lvov, yet another city that we could take and cause a lot of damage to the Soviet cause. Actually managed to do quite a bit of damage to us, but we broke through. And without that annoying NKVD unit, maybe they'll be a little more likely to run away. Let's take a look here at the chat. Sorry, guys, I have not been in the chat for a while. My apologies. Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, that's partially true, Mr. Bandicoot, and we really can't get political on this stream. I wish I could share my opinion on that, but we have to be careful. Yes, absolutely, Van Bishop. So yeah, the border guards, these NKVD border guards are not like, you know, hard-nosed NKVD drill instructors, not by any stretch of the imagination. You could probably give them a pack of cigarettes and they'll let you through, you know, that sort of thing. But that's not to say they don't still have some power and don't wield some control. So here we go, massive attack we're doing here. 374, they actually held. Wow, I'm very surprised. They actually held. Of course, a few of the Soviet units managed to hold out. For those of you that are not familiar with Fortress Brest, for instance, also a great film, a Russian film, but based on a true story, where basically the Soviets were able to kill a number of Germans and remain in their location in Fortress Brest long after the German army had passed by that location by several hundred kilometers. They held out for a very long time. I don't remember what happened entirely, but I do believe that some of the men did survive to the end of the war, of course, in prison camps. But very, very interesting defense, and definitely goes to show that if men are driven, you know, to the ends of sanity, they can do just about anything. Of course, the Germans did eventually break through. They ran out of ammunition, and it had to end eventually. But it was an amazing show by the Red Army. Here we go. There we go. Enemy regiment retreated. And they held, which kind of makes sense. They're still near Lvov here. And on this front, I don't generally do anything. This is the Romanian front. I wait because, much like the Hungarian front, in the Romanian front, you don't immediately get attack power. You slowly get it because these units have to basically, wait for reinforcements. What we can do, though, here on the Romanian front, I think, is use the Romanian planes to start hitting some of these units. So go ahead and bomb this area. Junkers at 88. We got Stukas here. So let's try to hit some of their HQs as well. Enemies using MiG-3s to stop us. But we also want to bomb here across the line because the enemy could try a counterattack, and nothing is more annoying than doing really well on every other part of the front except the south. Then you have to start sending troops here. It's not fun. Okay, we are almost finished, boys and girls, but we have more work to do. Actually, I should have done a concentrated attack just then. We'll try one right now. Basically just smashing them from all angles. Nope, that didn't work. Wait a minute. Here we go. And they held. Wow, very impressive. Maybe that is Fortress Brest. Okay, well, let's at least cut off any rail support to that area because they seem to be tougher than most. I don't think I'm going to attack again. I'm going to be a little more careful. And we can always deal with them later, so we can mop them up later on in the game. We don't have to focus on them right this second. There we go. Another enemy division retreats. I can't wait to see the end of the turn just to see the casualty counts, honestly, guys. We could actually look at them right now by looking at the info screens. But for me, I always like to sort of tease it out a bit and just wait till the end of the turn to see how well I've done or how poorly I've done. Don't forget, we've also been attacking, but I think we've mostly taken enemy prisoners. We've pretty much followed the German war goals to a T. Hit these retreating units. Why not? Maybe we'll take some prisoners. Maybe not. And they're fighting here in the Dnieper swamps or the Pripyat swamps, whichever you prefer. Alright, we'll keep moving forward with these units as well. Again, you want to always be moving, especially in the beginning of the war. You don't want to stay stagnant at all. You've got to constantly be moving, constantly attacking. I know it sounds time-consuming, but that's how you're going to win. And obviously constantly using your tanks to do things like this and just harass the enemy. Hit their HQs, make them run, scatter them. Go for attack here on the HQ, and look at that. Beautiful. We also destroyed an AT artillery brigade. 1,884 men captured. We had to have captured some commanders there. And we've taken a very important area. This railroad connects to all these other rail lines, which is going to damage enemy supply very, very seriously. Let's keep on attacking. Enemy unit retreated. We'll go ahead and attack again. We might as well. Now, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again, and that is if you attack with your men too much and don't let them rest, then you're going to basically start losing battles very quickly. I usually give it 2 turns. At that point, I will actually select the unit and rest or refit it. So basically what you do here, and I'm just looking at the amazing casualties, but basically you select the unit, you can go ahead and click refit, change unit status, or even reserve to also just keep them in the back. At that point, they'll be getting reinforcements, etc., as long as you've got an HQ nearby. So that's definitely something to consider doing if your guys start fighting too much, basically. Everybody needs a day off, am I right? There we go. Got another enemy tank division. You have nothing, Russians. If you take your whole country. Look at that. We've made the HQs run away. Now a lot of these units are left without HQs, or they're working for HQs that they've never spoken to, so they're unfamiliar with the commanders, they're unfamiliar about the orders they should follow or shouldn't follow, and all of this contributes to just a nightmare. For instance, if you look at this unit right here, or these groups of units, they're totally cut off, guys. They are stuck, not escaping. Alright, good job there. I will give it to you. Also got some SS divisions back here. And this is the SS Polizei division. I don't think the enemy's going to fare so well against these guys, so let's go for it. And these guys are definitely brutal. So we're going to go for a full attack on that enemy unit. And they did the right thing and routed. 2,994 men routing there. Embarrassing for the enemy. Attack again. We won't lose this battle, and sure enough, we shattered the unit. They didn't even rout. They were just completely destroyed. Let's bring this HQ down, and make sure, especially in this first attack, guys, keep your HQs close to your men. I can't stress that enough. If you select this HQ, I can see that these guys that are in the red, they're not getting any supply, and the guys in the yellow are getting minimal supply. So if I move a little closer, now it's looking a bit better. Also, some HQs correspond to other HQs. So this HQ is getting his supplies from this one right here. You got to keep that in mind as well. So keep them together because that's how you're going to get reinforcements, ammunition, all that fun stuff. Okay, I think we can keep these guys here. We're almost ready to end the turn, guys. But as you can see, one turn in this game can take an entire half of a stream. It's not a game to be taken lightly. We're going to move the tanks through. Once again, keep on taking territory. For that 10th Panzer Division. Hello, welcome to the channel. How are you doing? Keep following these HQs. Once again, the HQ is the first to run. Wow, that was amazing. So we defeated a motorized division, and we didn't lose any men. I was really worried about that because they actually had some attack power. But it looks like Konstantin Rokossovsky did not succeed in defending. Once again, the HQ units retreating. Absolutely wonderful news here. Now, of course, on our Hungarian and Romanian fronts, we can't do as much damage to the rail yards. But as long as we can keep that up here, then we should be doing really well. Keep on moving. Ooh, I didn't want to bring the HQ. Always check if there's an HQ also allocated to the unit, because you don't want to have HQs this deep in enemy territory, no matter how good your odds are. Let's get these panzers out to defend the HQ at least. Ooh, enemy HQ division nearby, and they're going to run. They're not going to put up a fight. That's good news. Still moving towards Riga as well. And they're going to join the retreating units. Grab these guys and keep moving forward. I wonder if these guys could take on a tank division together. I'm not sure they have that potential, but we're about to find out. Come on, boys. For Deutschland. Good job. 1,349 enemies down. Not even their tanks can stand up to our advancing infantry here. Now, these infantry units are not assigned, as far as I can tell, to any HQ. So we may need to actually assign these guys to an HQ, which is another part of the game, assigning, essentially. And if you guys want tutorials for games like this, the best thing you could do is, of course, take a look at our forums. Number one, you can request them there, but I would recommend always going to our videos on YouTube. We check those a lot, and saying, hey guys, I'd love to see, hey, I'd love to see a tutorial for War in the West, or War in the East, or anything in between. Now, please don't ask for a tutorial of Command. I can't provide that, but maybe given a few months of instruction, I'll eventually learn the game. All right, here we go. We're sending in everybody to attack this fort. I think that this might be Fortress Brest. They surrendered, maybe not. Yeah, they surrendered quite quickly, and we're going to get closer to Kaunas, closer than ever. So when I say this game can take weeks to finish, I'm not exaggerating. In fact, it can take months to finish. All right, let's see if we can drive the enemy out of Kaunas. Here we go, full attack. And yes, they routed. Look at that. The enemy didn't even have a chance to evacuate the city. So those civilians are trapped under our iron grasp. There we go. Another enemy unit retreating. Send this guy over here. Send him first. And there we go. Merkis is ours. But I still want to make sure this guy runs away. He is retreating, but he's not routing, and I need him to route. There we go. That's more like it. That's the spirit. All right, we'll go for another last-ditch effort attack on this fort. And finally, we got them to surrender. Beautiful. Take a look here at the chat for a few seconds, guys. Let me just get our HQ close. Okay. Suras, hey Sprog, how's it going, buddy? So he's asking about the Hearts of Iron 3 comparison. I'm not sure if you're asking for a Hearts of Iron 3 comparison to this game. Very different games, obviously. You know, this is an operational level war game, so this really tries to recreate the actual Eastern Front, and you know, gives you all the challenges and difficulties of the actual Eastern Front, including, you know, mud, rain, snow, etc. So I think they're very different games. Ah, Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 4. My goodness, they're discussing non-Slytherin games here. Muso, we need to jail them. We need some sort of a judiciary system here. Alright, here we go, guys. So it's pretty cool we took Kaunas. That's a big win. We could do even more damage. Vilnius might be ours. Not this turn, but definitely next turn. Actually, no, it's ours. It's in our zone of control, so we've also taken Vilnius. Not bad at all. Very sneaky subscribers, huh? Okay, they actually have quite a tank army here. Let's see if we can fight it. They're actually using their artillery, or their AT brigade, to fight back. And they retreated. They did manage to kill 82 of our guys, though, and probably took out a few tanks, but to no avail. Now, that is an anti-tank unit right there. Don't really want our tank hitting that guy, so we're going to try and backtrack a bit. Get to this town. That's more like it. $856. Wow. Wow, the defending force is held here. Let's go for a major attack again. There we go. Finally, they retreated, but they didn't rout. They will rout after the 24th and 4th Infantry Division arrive here. Maybe not. Alright, so it looks like Lvov is going to be the next step in our actual capture proceedings, because they're all running to Lvov and basically trying to get some supplies there. How complex is the AI in this game? I would say the AI is very, very good in this game, but you definitely want to read the manual. This is actually one of the few games where I did read the manual. Which might explain why I'm doing pretty well here. But basically, yeah, I think for the most part, you know, all things considered, you'll be able to defeat the AI if you're doing the right thing, essentially. If your strategy works, basically. And I think one of the great things about this game is you can try out so many different strategies. Of course, we're going just for the standard blitzkrieg, and it's working pretty well. But of course, once we get down here to the Hungarian and Romanian fronts, things start to get a little iffy, to say the least. Okay. Let's end the turn, guys. I can't wait to see the casualty count here. Look at that. So we now see what we've taken. We could have taken more, but of course, the stream, you know, we can't stream all day, and we could have done a few more movements and taken even more, but even that is impressive, as you can see, for just, I think this is going by week, maybe even by month. Oh, looks like the enemy is going to put up a little bit of a fight here. And this right here, guys, this is actually our aircraft, a Junkers and a Bf-109, so a Stuka and Bf-109s hitting enemy units, interdicting them. Basically, our guys are flying air patrols around the area. And just like in War in the West, although War in the West does this much better, I must admit, in terms of the air war, you can dictate how many of your planes are going to go out, where they're going to scout, where you want them to bomb. You can do all that stuff. But War in the West draws that out. I would definitely say War in the East, what we're playing today, is much more a game for the infantry combat lover, the tank combat lover, whereas War in the West is much more a game for the air combat lover, because the control of the Air Force in that game is just incredible. But I'm a War in the East fan personally. I always will be. And it's because I love infantry combat, and I love the Eastern Front. I mean, just so much can go wrong, so many casualties. It's pretty cool. As you can see, we're looking from the Russian perspective. It looks like all they have left is swamp, at least in this particular area. Okay, let's have a look, my friends. So, Axis losses for our side: men killed 1,554, men disabled 13,314, men captured 224. So we lost 224 prisoners essentially to the enemy. For the enemy, men killed 19,329. Total men killed 30,489. This is just unbelievable. I mean, really, really crazy. Incredible casualties, as you can imagine. It's just really incredible to see this. It makes you wonder just how they were able to sustain this. And no, look at this. Soviet losses are 268,000 men. Now, they had 30,000 men killed, but look at this. Men captured 135,000. So even though our kill counts are fairly similar, we lost 24,000. They lost 30,000 in terms of killed. In terms of actual captured, we took 135,000 prisoners. And we're going to take more, of course, because we've cut the enemy off almost entirely. But that just goes to show you the immense nature of these campaigns and of the actual war in general. Now, what happened to those particular captured men, I think most people know that most did not have a very good fate. Although you could say the same about the captured Germans on the Russian side, or captured Germans in Russia, that had to, of course, be in gulags for a long time or were often summarily executed. I think this was a war where both sides were absolutely brutal to one another. Here we go. We got another motorized division to surrender. Was that 5,000? They're just giving up like it's nobody's business at this point. Now, I don't usually send an infantry unit through enemy territory this far, but I figure we might as well try to disrupt some rail lines. Should we grab this guy? And we're going for Tarnopol. Oh, wow. We actually took Tarnopol with no resistance. That is sad. But, yeah, so we've taken Tarnopol with no resistance whatsoever. We could go for Proshkorov, or I could try to stand Tarnopol. I don't think I will. I think I'm more interested in taking Lvov. I'll let them retake Tarnopol, although I find that kind of funny. And we want to focus on the capture of Lvov. That's really the jewel in the rough here. Or is it the diamond in the rough? That's right, the diamond in the rough. Here we go. Come on, boys. Here we go. Enemy routed. And Lvov is ours. Of course, I would feel a lot safer if we were able to take out that HQ division. But I don't think we're going to be able to get to him this turn. Security force versus security force? Let's see. Oh, we just lost 20 men. Yeah, that's basically just a little police shootout there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and smash this unit from both sides. And I expected that. The tank division surrendered. Look at that. 6,987 men surrendered. With the SS Das Reich division taking those prisoners, I can't imagine anything good is going to happen to them. We're also taking Rovno, so we've taken another enemy town with no resistance. You know, there was a lot of confusion during the initial German attack. The Russians really didn't know what was going on, and those that did know what was going on weren't being believed by their superiors. So with that kind of madness on all sides, it's hard to even know that you should be in town. Like, oh no, wait, there's enemies attacking over here, I need to go here, we need to leave town. Suddenly the enemy shows up at your town and takes it, and now you're cut off. So this was quite common, at least in the beginning of the war on the Eastern Front. Run. Well, guys, sad to say, but we are coming to that time in the stream where we are going to have to shut down here. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving for our American friends, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. This was awesome. We have 67 people viewing the stream right now on Restream. I'm sure we have even more viewing on our YouTube channels. So it's really good to see that you guys enjoy these games, and thank you, Fireshark, also for following that series on my channel. That's really cool. Everybody's been just great. I hope you guys enjoyed watching War in the East. This is a really, really interesting game to stream, but of course a very long game. Very long. So I hope you guys enjoyed and had fun, and maybe we'll take a look at another one of the War in the games in the future. Thanks, Agrippa, for our daily fix of wargaming porn, says Van Bishop. That was glorious. Thank you so much, Van Bishop. And thank you, Fireshark. Okay, guys, I hope you all have a great day. As always, Musa, thank you so much for moderating, and take care, guys. I think we'll share some of our channels here and also share the holiday sale link so that you guys can get the best prices on all Slytherin Matrix games and pick up whatever you're looking for this holiday season. All right, guys? Take care.